I wanted to talk about the mayor's race in New York City, and I was very curious to hear what Elizabeth thought about the mayor's race. I don't know, for many of us here in Manhattan, look, the greatness of America for people who are patriotic and Americans, and both are Jewish, is that it's been an exceptional country for our people in its history because there's never been any form of political or government discrimination. And in fact, no executive has ever been elected to power who has been flagrantly anti Semitic. There have been a couple of legislators over time who have fulfilled that category: Burton Wheeler, Senator Bilbo. We can all name them. Um, but I am terrified about Zohran Mamdani becoming mayor. And one of the things that I don't understand, I was hoping that you could enlighten me about, is there's a great deal of evidence that in his public comments, in his praise of the Holy Land Foundation, the fact that he led SJP at Bowdoin College, to actually link him to those organizations that have been investigated for their ties to Hamas. Nobody in the press ever talks about it. They're always focused on, can you please denounce people who say globalize the Intifada? But they're not looking behind the scenes. And I'm wondering whether or not, first of all, what your thoughts are about the mayor election. And secondly, whether or not, you have similar kinds of worries that I do, and whether or not you know anyone who's investigating those ties.
Okay, Matthew, thank you. First of all, Elizabeth, are you a New York voter?
I'm not. No, I moved after 2020 to make Donald Trump president. I moved to Florida,
Yeah.
and now I literally actually was deciding. We left it up to this race, right? So my family is kind of waiting to see what happens in this mayoral race to see if we come back home. So I
If you were,
definitely share.
if you were a New York voter, who would you vote for in this general election?
I mean, I'm praying that we only have one choice, because if we have all three against Mamdani, it doesn't matter who I vote for. So I'm going to assume Andrew Cuomo or Mayor Adams are the only options. I'm going to hope it's just one of them on that ballot, or it really doesn't matter and I'm never coming home.
What if you could make any of the four candidates mayor, just unilaterally? Which of the four do you think you'd make mayor?
Probably Cuomo at this point. I
Yeah,
mean, I never thought I'd be a Cuomo supporter, but I mean, at this
yeah,
point, he's the best we have. I think Mayor Adams has, I mean, really not lived up to anyone's expectations. I think he's polling fourth. He's polling lower than Sliwa, so
yeah,
I don't really
yeah.
understand the effort behind him versus Cuomo. But regardless, I share your concerns. I love New York. It is my home. More than anything, probably as a Jewish American, it's my home. Both my parents were Jewish refugees who fled the Soviet Union, came to New York, and were welcomed with open arms, and went from having, I mean, really $90 in their pockets to building the greatest life for me that I could have ever asked for. So I've loved the United States and I've loved New York, and I've been so grateful, like you said, as a Jew, not having to kind of feel any of the prejudices that my parents warned me about that exist around the world, and now I'm feeling them, unfortunately. So yes, I'm scared. I'm very hopeful that people come together behind one candidate and realize that Mamdani is not an answer, not because he's anti-Semitic, but because he is anti-American. All of his views stand against what we value. As Americans, anti-Semitism just kind of falls right in there with socialism and communism and a bunch of other things that we should be very fearful of. So I'm very scared when it comes to talking about his ties to a lot of these dangerous groups. I don't know how much it matters. I don't know how much people pay attention. I mean, we have members of Congress who are very much tied to a lot of groups that are currently being investigated or have been investigated for supporting terrorism. And no one talks about it and no one cares, and we're called Islamophobic for bringing it up. So I really don't know. I wish more people open their minds and hearts to all of this, but I don't even think any of that matters when the guy is a proud socialist, and New York City is not going to survive under any of his policies.
Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss a clip, and you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.